Alright.
Such a pump-up song.
I know, right?
Welcome to the Audacious Dutchman.
I just think, every time I hear it, I think, meow, meow.
Meow, 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 meow. I knew it was going to do that. Damn it.
Well, and see you later, folks.
I know, right?
It was nice having you.
Hello, and welcome to episode 22 of The Audacious Dutchman.
22 episodes?
22 episodes. You're the 22nd
Wow.
guest.
That's pretty cool.
Joined as usual by, well, no, I say as usual, but that's horseshit. Joined on this occasion by Monique Pater. How you going, Mon? Tell everyone how you going.
I'm alright. I'm alright. I'm feeling a little tired.
Me too.
Like, not even like physically, yes, but just like a bit like it's the end of the week. I'm pretty. That's
Just
how I
drained.
feel.
Yeah, okay.
I just feel just drained.
I
What
get
about
ya.
you?
I'm not feeling too good at all, so I am currently going through a huge sugar crash. I had an inordinate?
What
That
do
a
you
word?
mean by
Large? Inordinate?
as in
Amount of
inordinate
sugar?
Yeah, you did have an
Is
inordinate. Yes.
How do you
correct.
pronounce the word?
Inordinate. You said it correctly.
I said
just-
inordinate.
Oh, inordinate.
Like an ornament. Anyway, I had a lot of sugar today because I'm not drinking, and that means I'm replacing the drinking with Sprite. And so
Alcohol with sugar.
my diet today consisted of a cookie, two coffees before any food, and a huge cookie, and then a banh mi, which is just carbohydrates, which is sugar, and then 3 cans of Sprite and a whole bunch of like
4 rolls.
cheese board stuff, rolls. So I've just eaten sugar all day long.
I didn't ask you though. How was the cookie?
It was really shit. It was terrible.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's so disappointing.
No, it was
looked
really
really
average.
good and had like the little salt.
It was no
You know, like the little salt flakes on the top.
Yeah. It was no Can you do that one more time? Thanks. It was no salt sandwiches cookie. That's for sure. No, doing well. I'm now like 15 days off grog, which is he already awake?
No.
Oh,
that's
fuck.
good.
Well, like if you hear a noise, we got the baby monitor because the kid's asleep. No, 15 days off grog. No, more than now. Is it the 19th or the 16th or 14th of Jan? So 14 days off
It's the
grog.
15th. Good try.
No, it's the 14th. Literally,
It's
the
the
date.
15th.
The date is in the top right of the computer. Are you gonna argue with my MacBook?
No.
I wouldn't have thought so. Yeah, but I think I'm gonna have to swap out the sugar for not sugar because I'm gonna have a brain aneurysm, and I'm worried about dying of cancer now that I'm replacing it with just Sprite.
Yes, but
Yeah.
it is as I say every time. Replacing one thing with another thing is not the point. The point is like you should be able to have a Sprite and not drink 3 of them.
Yeah.
You should be able to have 1 or 2 beers. Every single man on the earth is
No,
going to
I
disagree
can't.
with me.
I can't. No, there's no man on the earth that can have 2 beers.
Yeah, but
Any
like,
man who says, yeah, I can have 2 beers, that's not a man. You need to check for scars because they've had surgery to fix their situation. There's people on live. Chime in. Can someone just have 2 drinks? No, that doesn't exist. That's not real.
yeah, I think women are different. But like,
In what way?
yeah, women can have like a couple of drinks without like getting blotto. But like, yeah.
Nope. Nah, there's no world. And there's no better sensation. Friday afternoon, you've had a hard day. There's sweat coming down your face. You come in. You don't go straight for the house. You go out to the shed because in the shed, there's a beer fridge. And you open up the door and it's cold because there's been a 38-degree day. And then the cold fridge door flies open. You grab that can, it's cold on your palm, and you crack it open, and it quenches your thirst.
That is going to make a fantastic
I know.
short form content.
I'm aware. So we've been pumping out 4 clips a day, short form content from this show. So what I do is I literally run the long form content through an AI machine that spits out heaps and heaps of clips. And the upshot of that is, yeah, we're like doing really well on YouTube Shorts. The watch hours has gone from in 1 week has gone from 4 watch hours to 200 watch hours
Is that where you're at?
200 watch hours
Wow.
in 1 week. So it's working. I've picked up 10 subscribers this week, 11 now, 11 subscribers this week. So yeah,
really
everything is about the short form. So yeah, I'm selling out, and it's not a real podcast anymore. It's just a machine to make short form content. So you're welcome. You're welcome. The Lariat. We sat in the Lariat yesterday.
Oh
So the Lariat is the Ford F-150. The Lariat is the top of the range version of that. Has the leather seats, the Bang & Olufsen sound system, timber grain dash, the whole bit. And fuck, it was huge.
It was big. It was a big boy.
Huge.
I stepped in it and I felt like you step in and you feel special. Like, it's like this huge seat, and like you've got that huge center console. You look in the back and it's like you could fit some very fat Americans in there.
Yeah. Well, it needs to be big.
Yeah.
Because Americans are huge.
Yeah. And it's got that huge
Sorry, America.
tray, and there's nice big wheel arches. But.
And it's a big butt. It's a big
You-
American butt.
You cannot park it at Chadstone Shopping Centre.
Nah, we went to Chadstone today. I drive a Ford Ranger, and that was hard. That was like a bull in a china shop.
It's like other cars see. It's not even like, it's literally not even big. Like, yes, you hang out the back at every single shopping centre, and that is not the biggest.
By about this much. By about a half a metre.
Yeah, you're not the biggest ute on the market.
Nope.
He tried to turn a corner today. So he's driving this way. If you're listening, this is going to be shit. If
He's
you're
driving
you'll get
this
it.
way.
So he's driving straight.
Bear
right?
with us if you're listening. It'll be over in about 2 minutes. It's going to take 2 minutes to get this out as well.
Andy was driving straight. Someone wanted to turn right. Andy wanted to drive. Andy wanted to turn left. This woman wanted to turn right. And Andy knew he could not make it around the corner without sideswiping her. So he stopped and said to her, "Go."
I waved her through.
Waved her through, and she just like was like a deer in headlights. She was like, literally, like sitting there and just looking back and forth, like. And then her husband's getting frustrated in the passenger seat. Which, by the way, can we talk about why was she driving, not her husband?
Yeah.
That's not a real man. If you're not driving your wife around,
Yeah.
what are you doing?
Yeah. Agreed.
Get angry at me in the comments. I don't care.
No.
A man should be driving his wife around.
100%. Yep.
Anyway.
It's worse when they're in the back, though.
She's in her Audi Q4 and she's like literally refuses to go. And Andy was like, all right, I'll show you it doesn't work. So Andy turns left. And what happens? Andy cannot make the corner.
No.
Cannot make the turn. And she's like sitting in the seat getting angry. And Andy was like, all right, cool. I've proven my point. Aggressively reversed backwards. And then she tried to make the turn and she didn't make it around the corner.
Nah. And she definitely could have made it around that corner. The
Yeah.
only thing that got in the way was her incompetence.
Not because she's a woman, I would just like to say. But
Well,
she's
her
obviously
husband was no better.
she's a terrible driver.
Yeah.
Anyway.
And then the dude got angry at me from the
Yeah.
passenger seat. He was like, "What do you do? What do you do?"
Yeah.
It's like, I waved you through, dipshit.
The car behind literally gave up and turned their indicator from right to left and
Yeah.
just turned left.
Yeah.
They were like, I'm not playing this game. But imagine doing that in a Lariat.
No, I know. I couldn't do it.
You literally couldn't.
No, so...
You'd take up 2 car parks.
No, we went down to Ford. So I test drove a Raptor on Friday. Got this idea of one day getting one. So I test drove one. And Mon and I both sort of came to the conclusion that it's doesn't represent good value for money. Cool car,
The
fantastic,
Lariat
it's
is
awesome.
value for money.
But for $100,000, not sure you're getting $100,000 worth of car. Whereas at 150 grand, we think you're getting 150 grand's worth of car with the F-150 Lariat. But just today's experience of driving around in a Ranger and struggling, I don't think.
It's not a
and we've
Melbourne
been
car.
and we've been talking about this. Where could you? Because you can't do it in Chadstone.
No.
We were in Frankston car park yesterday and stuck out and found it hard to get round that car park in the Ranger. So you can't do it in Frankston. You can't do it anywhere. The only place an F-150 makes sense is really in the country, like Traralgon or something like that. And we don't
Even
live
then,
there.
you can't park at McDonald's.
No. Correct. So you have to have 2 cars. So you have to have a $150,000 car, and then you have to buy another car, likely of equal value, because if you're having a $150,000 car, you're not also going to buy a $20,000 car. You're going to buy Another 150. So
Yeah.
you have to have $300,000 worth of cars just to get milk. And that seems ridiculous.
The next time I go to America, I am going to observe the car parking spaces.
And that's the end of this podcast. The kid's awake. We made a 10-minute podcast.
Give it a moment. I'm sure he's going to wake up, but wonder if we could pause and come back. No, that's like fully awake, but I wonder if I can get him back to sleep.
Do you just want to bring him in here? You don't want to. All right. Okay.
Can we pause it and then, or do you want to keep going and we'll see if it works?
Well, we can pause it. Yeah, we can pause it.
Can you do that? Is that
Yeah.
a thing?
Well, you stop the recording and you stop the live and you start again.
Oh, okay.
So we're stopping.
can you
There's no
mash-
pause.
Can you mash them together?
Unless everyone on the live wants to just sit there for 25 minutes while we work this out on pause.
Can you...
Yes, I can. Yes. Edit them?
Yeah.
Yes, I can
Yes.
post-produce it. He's definitely awake.
I know, but I'm like wondering if... See how long it takes. I think he's awake.
Gee, he sounds like a pterodactyl.
He's a little pterodactyl
He's
boy.
a little pterodactyl. All right. Stop. And we're back.
If you have a child, you'll understand.
Yeah, I know, right?
He
Nah,
doesn't
cool.
sleep well.
I don't remember what we were talking about. I remember the last thing was like the F-150.
Yeah, I think I finished my story.
Yeah, cool.
Essentially, like, how do you have an American truck in Australia? But everyone does.
There's a lot of them now.
Like the Ram, the Silverado, they are literally everywhere.
They are everywhere.
Like, how do you park? How do you parallel park that thing?
I don't know.
If you own one,
No.
chime in, please.
Yeah, I got no idea. Electric cars, though. Yeah, we saw a couple of those today at Chadstone. They had their own little invalid
EV
bay.
Charging
Yeah,
ports.
they had their own invalid bay where they could put their cars.
Have to say, we were very tempted to park there, partly because the pram parking, where is pram parking? Couldn't even find it. And B, just to piss off all the
Do you reckon
electric vehicle drivers.
Do you reckon it would be funny to go along and just unplug them all?
Yes, it would be hilarious.
Do you
But
reckon that's funny?
Yes, however, we wouldn't get to see the aftermath of that. It'd be funny for us for like doing it, be like, oh, pull out the cord, and then
No, but what if we start a trend on the Audacious Dutchman that you unplug
and film it.
And put it on social media, or like get your friend to post it so you're like all good. And but what if we started that as a trend, like the unplugging movement of electric cars? Because the reality is these people aren't going anywhere if they've been sucked into this horse shit of buying an electric car. Because the reality is that like they're not saving the world. Like, there's been ecological studies done about the impact of electric cars over the lifespan of, like, literally from zero to the day that they're a car.
Keep talking.
Is you right?
I think it's alright.
They're terrible. Like, nickel mining is a filthy business, and it damages the environment, and all these batteries have nickel in them. And, like, cobalt mining is disgusting, and all these cars have cobalt in the batteries as well. Like, there's all these harmful practices that go into creating an electric car. They're horrible for the environment, they're horrible for people, and you're a fool if you believe that that's the answer. We may have an oil issue, sure, but I don't believe that electric cars are the answer. Potentially hydrogen cars are the answer, but I think
Solar powered? What do you think about solar powered?
No, I don't think that's
Okay.
that's not real.
It's not a thing?
That's not a thing.
Okay.
But I think if you're getting sucked in and buying a Tesla, you're a virtue signaling cuck.
I have to say, I just don't know enough. Like, the reason I don't like electric vehicles is purely because I would like to own a V12 in my life, and I will never own a V12.
That's gone.
That's
That
not-
doesn't
it doesn't
that doesn't
happen.
exist anymore.
And so I don't actually know. I really don't know whether electric vehicles are useless and complete. Like,
I was talking
marketing.
with-
Everything's marketing, though. Honestly, you can spin anything.
Correct. I was talking with Ebony on the podcast yesterday, and we were talking about people that are slashing, eco-mentalists that are slashing the tires of four-wheel drivers because they're bad for the environment. Isn't that disgusting?
I bet those people are vegan, and every single thing that they eat is like 100 times worse than hunting your own meat.
You can just see them coming.
Hunting your own meat has to be one of the most environmental things you can do.
Well, yeah, I watch a lot of hunting channels, and they always talk about once you start killing the animal, you get a real appreciation for
Respect for them.
Yeah, and what goes into it. Whereas when you buy it from the shops, you just eat it. You'll throw it in the bin. You throw half a steak in the bin. Whereas these hunters use as much of the meat as they can. They're trying to maximize, like, they've shot the animal. They understand what's just happened, so they have respect for it.
It's a circle of life. Like, it is the true circle of life. Like,
Correct.
a lion's not leaving an ounce of fat or meat on the zebra.
Correct.
Like, they're getting...
And that's what these
that is
hunters are
circle of
like
life.
as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. Nah, absolutely. Man, vegans are hard work, though. They certainly are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What I really don't get is if you are going to be vegan for health purposes, you cannot tell me that fake chicken shit is better than eating chicken.
The Beyond Meat.
Well, any fake chicken, fake meat, like, you cannot tell me that's better than eating a grass-fed steak. You can't tell me that's better. All the shit, the additives, the preservatives, everything that goes into those fake meats is killing you.
Yep.
Like, how is that better?
No, absolutely not. I believe they're pulling them from the shelves in the US.
Really?
Because of health concerns.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
not surprised.
Ugh. Nah. Just eat a fucking burger, drive a petrol car, and just be done with it, honestly. And keep your fucking mouth shut with your protesting.
But also, like, everything is marketing.
Correct.
That is just what I'm learning recently, is, like, you can market anything.
Yep.
Everything is public relations. It's all follow the money. Whereas who's paying for that information? Who's paying for those studies telling you not to eat meat? Who's paying for those studies to tell you anything?
Have you heard the one about the sugar industry? So in the US in the 60s or whenever it was, the equivalent of $50,000 was paid to, I believe, the FDA, or whoever. I don't think it was the FDA. Anyway, someone was bribed for the equivalent of $50,000 to...
What would that be today? Is that if you
today's equivalent of $50,000?
That's all.
Yeah. To say sugar's not bad, it's saturated fat. That's bad. Sugar's fine, it's saturated fat that's bad.
Going back to my studies in health science, I can't remember what type of fat is bad. Like, whether it's polyunsaturated, I just can't remember. But, like, it's so whack. Going back to it again, like, that was paid for. That information was paid for. How are you supposed to know?
Agreed.
Because fat, like... But then vegetables, oh my gosh, you know what has absolutely got my head in a spin at the moment is the carnivore diet. Because I've grown up to believe, and I love vegetables. I eat vegetables every day. But what is going on with the carnivore diet saying, if anyone has heard this story, this is mind-blowing. The reason they're saying the vegetables are bad is because they're saying that vegetables can't run away from you. And so, to stop you from eating them, they emit poison. So, every time you eat a vegetable, you're being poisoned. What?
Yeah, I don't know.
So, now we can't eat vegetables?
I don't know.
But, like, if I were to eat a steak every single day, my hormones would go absolutely wild. Like, I do not do well with, like, that much red meat. So, like, oh, man, what do you even do?
I don't know. I really don't know.
Are we moving on?
We certainly are, because I have a feeling that the kid's about to wake up. So I really want to get this in very, very quickly. Okay. So Jeremy Clarkson has recently come out with concerns that
has he?
Yeah, absolutely.
He's come out, has he?
Oh, my God. I'm trying to do a fucking TikTok reel here, and you've ruined it. So now I have to start again.
Start again.
Jeremy Clarkson, health concerns. It's really hard. Now I have to start again.
I didn't know.
Oh, I want to find the quote anyway. 4th of December 2023 in the Mirror.
Well, that's a bad picture.
Yeah, they're all bad pictures. I accept. It's really hard to do this with a mouse that doesn't work.
Yeah, I bet.
So Jeremy Clarkson has recently come out with an article. Oh my God, this sugar is ruining my head. I'm struggling so hard. Jeremy Clarkson has health concerns. He's recently told the Mirror that he is coughing up his spleen. His body doesn't work anymore, and he's worried about his health. He has dementia fears, and he says, my body's falling apart. It doesn't work anymore. And that's really sad. That's really sad for someone like me, because I'm a car fan, And I'm sure you're a car fan as well, if you're watching this. If you are watching this and you grew up like me, a 9-year-old boy watching Top Gear, that's like hearing one of your parents has cancer. Like, this is important to people like me. So I guess I'm doing this as a little bit of a tribute to Jeremy Clarkson to say thank you. Thank you for your work. Thank you for the laughs. Thank you for raising a generation of people who thought differently, who were interested in cars, who saw cars for more than a ton and a half of metal, who saw cars as who anthropomorphized cars and had relationships with them, used them to have connection with others, create memories. I know it's changed my life. The work you've done has changed my life, and I wish you well. I wish you a speedy recovery, and I'm sure everyone watching would agree. Yeah.
Yes, that's all I have to say.
And the chances of Jeremy Clarkson actually seeing this clip are about 0. But if you're a car fan, I think it's a sad day for all car fans. Yeah, Jeremy Clarkson said he's coughing up his spleen and complained, "My body doesn't work anymore," in a worrying health update. It comes after the TV star said he's terrified of getting dementia as he continues to suffer with long-term health problems.
Hope he keeps doing Clarkson's Farm.
Well,
but how
sounds
is
like
he
he's
supposed
worried
to,
about
like...
dying.
I love Clarkson's Farm. I think that's almost better than Top Gear. That's like some of his best work.
The 63-year-old is described getting breathless during walks with his son. The former Grand Tour star said he tries to walk to Stamford Bridge with his 26-year-old son, but admitted he struggles to keep up. He then went on to explain he can't concentrate on the first half of the match as he is coughing from the mild exercise. Jeremy Clarkson: "When I hear that a man of my age should do 10,000 steps a day, I think, right, and how on earth do I find the time to do that?" It's sad. It's really, really sad. And I guess that's part of the reason why they're not doing the Grand Tour anymore. That's officially over.
Is that part of the reason?
I guess so. I mean, that's officially over now.
I do think the Grand Tour did begin to look like it just wasn't as good. It didn't have the same like humor as Top Gear. It didn't have.
I get it. It definitely wasn't what it used to be, but I think we can all agree, when you love something, when you love someone, you would still rather see them in a poor state in hospital than have them dead.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And that's how I like the Grand Tour is not
Okay.
Top Gear.
Yeah.
But I'd rather have the Grand Tour than nothing.
Yeah, I get you.
Yeah. So that's kind of sad. It's very, very sad. But no, wish him a speedy recovery. Hope that it's all okay. Sounds like it's not, but I hope.
To be fair though, like he'd have to retire at some point. Like 63. He's not a young 63 either.
He's got some cash behind him though.
Yeah, but
he'd be alright to retire. Jeremy Clarkson.
that's what I'm saying. Like
net
he would have retired sometime
Not that these
soon
are
anyway.
ever real. They reckon he's with 70 million. Nah, that doesn't
seems
sound right.
He's thought to be paid about £3 million a year to present the hit show. What?
£70 million sounds cheap.
Yeah.
It sounds incorrect.
Lol, wouldn't you like someone to...
Meanwhile, I'm sitting over here going, 70 million,
I know, it's
nothing.
nothing,
70 million pounds
whatever.
is nothing. Is that all?
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, throw some of that this way.
Yeah.
Oh, damn, that's funny. How's the podcast with Jane going?
We haven't done any more episodes. We're recording 2 more in, I believe, a week, next week.
Okay.
Obviously, like, we have constraints with, like, my schedule and both our schedules. Like, it's hard to, like, get a podcast in when we're both free. And that one's, like, produced, like, it's not like this. It's like someone comes in and produces
What do you mean?
Like, it's not...
Please explain.
She has to set it all up. She has to have, like, a videographer and, like, she has someone come in and, like, set up the studio in her apartment. Like, it's not, like, just here and you don't just walk into the shed and do a podcast.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I'm really excited to do that again.
Yeah, that's cool.
We have a really cool guest coming on the next one.
Oh, can you disclose or not?
No, it's just one of our clients.
Okay.
But she's just, like, she's sick. Like, she's very...
I hope she gets better soon then.
she's Like, I hate the term boss girl. Like, honestly, that should just never have been, it shouldn't have been invented. But she is a boss girl.
I get you.
Yeah. Like,
Yeah.
in the true definition.
Yeah, I get
like,
you.
low key as well.
Yeah.
So that's how that's going.
No, that's good. I'm glad to hear it. Man, I had other stuff to talk about and I can't
I know.
remember.
What did you have to... Electric vehicles, we covered
I
that.
did electric vehicles.
The
Man, I
Lariat.
did those. Idiots.
The Lariat.
Oh,
we
the
did
idiots
that.
in the shop.
The idiots in the shop.
The idiots in the shop. Oh, that's not really...
There's
not
really
that
much to talk
fodder
about.
there, is there?
But can we talk about Sunday driving?
Yeah, that's terrible. Get out of the way. Keep left.
Why is it on Sunday we do 20 kilometers below the speed
it's
limit?
bad,
Like,
isn't it?
fill us in, because
It's dangerous.
it is dangerous. Like, people
If
think
you're
they're-
unconfident on the road, please keep left. Get the fuck out of the way. If
And-
you look in your rearview mirror and you see this head and I'm flashing you, that means move over. In the 100 zone, you're doing 80.
101 is
Leave.
also not acceptable in the right lane.
No, you need to be doing close
105 at
to
at
105. Because the
No.
reality is your speedo
Yeah.
is out. Yeah.
it's
So
a
you're
good
actually
one.
doing 92. You're not doing what you think you're like. You're doing. Move,
Yeah.
fucking get out of the way.
Hot tip is get the app on your phone, the speedometer app.
Or
you're-
Waze.
Yeah, Waze as
Just
well.
use
But
Waze.
while you're driving your car, look down and see what your car tells you you're doing, and then look at the speedometer, and that will tell you how out your car is, and you'll work out sort of what percentage your car is out. And so when you're in the right lane and your car says 100, you are doing 92, and you're pissing people like us off.
Yeah. Look, on a more serious, like we're having a bit of a laugh, obviously. On a more serious note, though.
Are we though?
if you're not confident on the road, like you can take the bus, please. Get the fuck off the road. Get out of the way. You're an
We
idiot.
have a
You
fantastic
cause
public transport system
You
here.
cause accidents with your insecurity of driving. So leave the road, get on the bus, and that's where you belong.
You belong on the bus.
Yeah. You can sit there with all the other weirdos and the smells.
Yep.
And that's my words on the matter.
What
Man.
about you? What's going on in your life?
The sugar crash is real. I'm like not doing well as a result. I think I'm going to have to start drinking sparkling water.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the reality is, so I've never eaten food in my life. And that sounds, people are going to be like, what does that even mean? I am a faster, so I don't eat breakfast, I don't eat lunch. I come home and I gorge. That's what I do.
And it's
And
always like chocolate.
And I'm trying to break that habit because it's always chocolate and lollies when I come home. It's never like,
and salt and vinegar chips.
yeah, it's never good food. It's always really terrible food. So I've got this concept of 0 to 1, and what that means is like just start in the right direction. Like the problem is I eat nothing and I need to eat healthy food, but I'm not going to go from eating nothing to eating healthy food. So I need to at least start by eating something and building the habit. But the reality is it's actually kind of like whacked my system.
It's funny because you seem hungry like quite frequently now because your
I'm starving
metabolism
right
is
now.
obviously like kicked in.
Yeah, I'm really hungry right now.
But on that note of 0 to 1, I feel like that's like our framework for the year is like
0 to 1.
0 to 1.
Yeah. And what 0 to 1 means is a lot of people will set out to do something cool. Yeah. So build a big podcast, for example. And they go, right, I'm going to sit down and I'm going to start my podcast and it's going to be the best podcast. And you're not going to get anywhere doing that because you're thinking about going from 0 to 10. And you go, I've got to go from 0 to 10. And the reality is our brains are equipped to think in binary terms. Yeah. So 6 months, 12 months, a decade. Yeah. So if you minimize your target 0 to 1 and then you go, right, I want to go from 0 to 1 in 12 months. That is actually achievable. And the reality is you're more... Did he just cry?
No.
You're probably going to exceed that 0 to 1 in 12 months. So my 0 to 1 is just like getting out there and doing podcasts and having some audience. I've already done that.
Yeah.
There are people listening to this. I've got 181 subscribers on YouTube now.
Yeah.
There are people listening to this, which is great. So I've already gone from 0 to 1. I set out to go from 0 to 1 a week ago. I've already exceeded it. It's great. Now we go from 1 to 2. And I think that it doesn't matter what you're doing in life. There is... That attitude is applicable everywhere. Whether you want to start a new career, whether you want to start a business, you're not going to go... Like if you're starting a business, you're not going to go from 0 to $1 million revenue business in 6 months. It's just not real. Even in 12 months. To be honest with you, the reality is not even in 2 years. Maybe in 2 years.
I think that's if you're really starting from scratch. I don't know anything about building like a $400 million business, but I feel like if your capital is like anyway, I literally share this quote with everyone in my personal life because I think it's so pertinent, and it's how I'm living my life this year. But it is, people overestimate what they can achieve in a year and underestimate what they can achieve in 10 years. And that's exactly what you're saying. Real. It's like, you put on your vision board and you put like,
that's a bird. Yep.
Like at the end of this year, I'm going to have this like beautiful new house. I'm going to have a new car. I'm going to, have $4 million in the bank. I'm going to have all of these things. And it's like you set out to have so much, and then I don't think your brain can even do all that, especially if you're starting from such a, like a point with such low momentum. Like you need to gain some momentum first. Like,
correct.
You can't just go from 0 to 100, as you say.
Absolutely. It's a really good frame. It's a good framework for anything. The other thing that's really worked for me is journaling. So it sounds a bit naff, and I used to pick on journalers. Like, journal, just go and do. Like, what are you, in a soap commercial or something like that? Like, but journaling has actually really started to work for me. So I noticed myself getting, I get really anxious every weekend, and it's because I feel like I'm inactive on the weekend. I feel like I'm not going, even when I was doing the podcast, I would do the podcast on the weekend, I feel inactive. So my new thing, when I feel anxious, I sit down and I write it. And by writing it, I release it. And what I mean by that is I get it out of my brain. I quantify it by looking at it and reading it, and it's real. I've written it down. It's not just fleeting thoughts everywhere. It's
that repeat themselves over and over again.
It's locked in, and this is what I think. And then by writing it down, I'm able to park that and move on to the next step. And I often then write the next step. So remember, I started my journal, my first ever journal entry is, I'm not happy. I'm not happy. And then my second line in that was, I have everything. And what I mean by everything is, I have a beautiful wife. I have a beautiful son. I love where I live. I love everything.
We have so much to be grateful for.
But I'm not happy. And I was able to, and this is a week ago, I was able to quantify everything 2 weeks ago. I was able to quantify everything. And I was able to move on as a result. And it's changed my life. And I'm just recommending it to everyone now. Like, if that's you, if you feel inactive, start journaling. Those are my 2 bits of advice.
Big difference in you.
Those are my 2 bits of advice. Is don't try and boil the ocean and write everything down. And by the way, it might not be right. It might be put the phone up to your head and record it, or do a voice memo and record it. And even if you think it's gay, like I did, I thought it was gay. That's the word I'll use. I was like, fucking journaling? What, I'm a lady? Am I going to have a little fucking pink pen and write in my... Just try it. What if it works? What if it works? Because it worked for me, and I'm a pretty hard, rough, rigid sort of dude that is not very traditionally into journaling. It really worked for me.
My one that I've been doing, which is actually inspired by you, because you started doing it, and I was kind of like, well, if you're doing it right at this moment, like, maybe I'll do it, maybe I'll like it. And I tend to, when I'm on my phone, I'm more often than not scrolling Instagram, to be perfectly honest, or I'm working.
Yeah.
Like, I do one of those 2 things on my phone. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to dedicate a couple of minutes to journaling.
Yeah.
And the app, the planner app that I use has a journaling template, and it's so simple, and it's literally like 3 minutes. And the first one is intention, and I don't even know what their interpretation of that is supposed to be, but I say, what's my intention today? And it can be something so small, but you can say like, my intention today is to I don't know, like, even if you just say go for a walk, like by the end of the day you go, I went for a walk.
Yep.
Like, you give yourself a sense of purpose every day, even if that intention is so small. Like, if you're having a really tough time in motherhood and you keep yelling at your child, my intention today is to take a breath and not yell back at my child.
Yeah, that's good.
And then at the end of the day you go, I took a breath. Like,
that's good.
You know, and I can't remember what the other ones are. It's like action steps as well. So part of it is like, what are the action steps from my purpose today?
Yep.
And yeah, it takes 3 minutes, but you get some direction in your day. There's an intentionality to your day.
Yeah, that's cool. No,
Yeah.
I like
So it's another approach if you don't just want to like freestyle your writing.
No, that's cool.
But yeah, and I can already feel these tiny changes that we're making in our mentality is making, I don't even know if it's making actual real life tangible results, but I feel completely different about our life.
We're starting to win, that's for sure, as a group, as a
And
couple.
I don't know if that's actually real or if it's just because our mind's telling us that we're winning. I have no idea. Who cares? It's all in my head. Everything is.
Agreed. I think that's it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have nothing more
I've got
interesting
nothing
to
else
say.
either. Well, we can play the special music.
That's
Special music. Oh, damn it.
Is this the... Oh, no.
Oh, it's going through the thing.
This gives me like Will Smith's daughter whipping her hair back and
Do you want to know
forth vibes.
something? You say that every time I play it.
Do I?
Yeah, you've said that on 2 podcasts now.
Really?
Yeah. You need to
Ooh.
stop saying it.
Sorry.
Yeah, you need to get a new line. I'm kidding. You can say whatever you
I
like.
don't remember ever saying it.
You say it every time. Oh my goodness.
Sorry to bore you.
Yeah.
Thanks for having me on.
Yeah, no, my pleasure. Thanks for coming and hanging out. It's been good
It's
fun.
nice.
Yeah.
Nice to spend time with you in this way.
It is nice, isn't it? All right.
Yeah.
Bye.
Bye.
Cha 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 cha.